How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their source.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
Diddy sent those to 50?
Diddy's like funeral flowers.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt. My favorite villain? I kind of like Diddy.
There are no misconceptions about me.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
Jay's definitely.
Jay helped you?
Yeah.
How did you
As a
help him?
competitor.
Explain it.
Yeah, because he never was someone that you communicate with that you're like friends with the person. But I always respected him because he was never an actual competitor in actual fact. He was someone who was a competitor through perception.
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z.
And B was, one time she jumped off of the ledge, came running over because she thought me and Jay had issues, and I was like, what the? And I was like, did she really just jump down and run over here like that?
Beyonce jumped off a ledge.
Yeah, it was in the Cosmopolitan, huh?
She really a superhero.
She jumped down and no, she was like, this what? Like that Bonnie and Clyde for real? You try this or what, boy? I'm here.
Word.
She looked down like at me. I said,
Was Solange with her?
She looked at me like that. I was like,
A fresh storm is taking shape, one that weaves together old rumors, recent controversies, and accusations many thought had been permanently laid to rest. At its center stands 50 Cent, a figure who has spent the last 20 years publicly calling out those he believes are shielded by the entertainment industry. Diddy has consistently been one of those names. But now, according to 50, the story reaches much further. This time, he is suggesting that the next wave of scrutiny could extend well beyond Diddy, pointing toward Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and even Oprah Winfrey, three of the most powerful voices in modern entertainment. These names have circulated in whispers for years, but rarely have they been confronted this openly. The tension escalated when 50 Cent suggested he may be sitting on new footage connected to the same inner circle tied to the Diddy controversy. He implied that the documentary focused on Sean Combs was merely the opening act. Then came a brief message that spread across the internet instantly. "You're next." Fans began piecing things together immediately. Most assumed the message was directed at Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Questions followed just as fast. Why them? Why now? And why so soon after the Diddy documentary? According to long-standing industry speculation, the answer may lie within a tightly knit elite circle, one protected for years by wealth, influence, and carefully built alliances. When the Netflix documentary on Diddy dropped, viewers took note of how deeply Jay-Z and Diddy's professional and personal circles had overlapped across decades, from business ventures to private gatherings and exclusive industry spaces. Beyoncé moved within many of those same circles, from Rock Nation events to Grammy after-parties and high-level industry functions. The same names kept appearing. Now, 50 Cent is signaling that proximity alone may no longer be enough to protect anyone from public scrutiny, as old footage, past claims, and buried stories are being revisited under a new light. And if his hints hold any truth, this may only be the beginning.
These were private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly, and Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client, but as a person, and try to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape. And it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's going on. And the really enraging part about it is that Mark Agnifilo won this case for Diddy with legal strategy. It wasn't just an accident that this jury that had heard all of this in the news before the trial voted not guilty on all the serious charges. It was Mark Agnifilo that did that. Yet Diddy secretly records this guy and embarrasses him. And yeah, you could say, well, Diddy never expected that it would end up being broadcast somewhere else. Well, okay, but Diddy was planning on using it, or he wouldn't have had it recorded in the first place. So it's just really, really unfair. And I know that in a way this sounds crazy, that I'm getting so upset about Diddy, and yet there's video of Diddy beating Cassie. Well, that's horrendous, but that doesn't mean you can't look at something else as well. And I just think, as a lawyer, I just think this is just so outrageous that he would do something like this, and not even understanding what Agnifilo's legal theory was. Because I will tell you that when we did our first documentary on Diddy, which was 8 months before the trial, Mark Agnifilo said to me on camera that he is going to tell this jury that this was a successful black man that prosecutors were trying to take down because they couldn't get into his bank accounts because they were clean, and he couldn't deal with they couldn't deal with taxes because he wasn't committing tax fraud. So they go into his bedroom. And that's what Mark Agnifilo said 8 months before. And he goes into the trial and he essentially wins that argument, whether you believe it or not. A jury that sat through the whole thing, they believed it, and ultimately they convicted him on this BS Mann Act thing. So Diddy won that case. And one of the reasons he won the case is something that Agnifilo got criticized for. That when he did the documentary with me, he was making a joke about the baby oil. Remember, he said, oh, well, I didn't know he bought in bulk. He must have bought 1,000 bottles at Costco. And a lot of people just slammed him for that and said, how dare you? You're being disrespectful. The baby oil is the smoking gun in this case. Agnifilo knew all along that the baby oil was Diddy's best defense, because when Agnifilo got before that jury in closing arguments, he looked at them and he said, well, the feds came in with their armor and artillery and guns. And what did they do? They got 1,000 bottles of baby oil off the streets. Ooh, he said, the streets are safer now. And the jury laughed. And that laugh told Agnifilo he should keep going on that, and that the trial itself was absurd.
As the years passed, Jay-Z continued aligning himself with some of the most influential figures in entertainment, including Diddy, Oprah Winfrey, and executives tied to major corporate and media networks. And whenever 50 Cent felt something was being quietly protected or conveniently ignored, he responded the only way he knows how, through sharp sarcasm, public ridicule, and carefully timed posts on social media. But this time felt different. For the first time, 50 directly put Jay-Z on notice, hinting that he may hold footage or material capable of affecting the Carters. Fans quickly sensed a shift in tone. That's because 50 rarely bluffs. When he claims to have documents, recordings, or inside information, he typically follows through. That reputation is precisely why Jay-Z and Beyoncé suddenly became the focal point of intense online speculation. This is also where Oprah's name entered the picture. Many began questioning why Oprah was being mentioned alongside Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and figures connected to Diddy. The answer lies partly in resurfaced criticisms and partly in 50 Cent's long history of publicly challenging her. Over the years, 50 has accused Oprah of applying her platform selectively, arguing that she scrutinized certain figures, particularly black entertainers, while allegedly avoiding harder examination of powerful white executives during the peak of the #MeToo movement. He repeatedly referenced her involvement in documentaries about R. Kelly, contrasting that with her past association with Harvey Weinstein. And on a more personal level, 50 has never concealed the fact that Oprah once turned down an interview with him, something he has brought up publicly on more than one occasion. To his supporters, that history explains why her name is now being pulled into the wider conversation, and why some believe this situation extends far beyond any single individual.
his sights on someone new after the Diddy Netflix documentary. If you aren't aware, 50 Cent has been getting insane feedback from the Netflix documentary he made on Diddy. Sean Combs' The Reckoning is what it's called, and it's #1 all over Netflix, beating even Stranger Things. Diddy himself has responded to it, saying the stories are false, of course, denying everything, and even trying to do a cease and desist on the Netflix documentary. And after this Diddy documentary, a lot of people have been wondering who's the next person that deserves to get exposed. And Jay-Z is the one that a lot of people are pointing their finger at. And the reason why Jay-Z has been getting a lot of this type of backlash is because Jay-Z was really close to Diddy. At one point, Diddy was even calling him his brother, and that Jay-Z's the only one that can call him his real name, Sean. That maybe there's something on Jay-Z's side that has been going on behind the scenes. Now, there hasn't been any solid proof yet, but Nicki Minaj has been going at Jay-Z for quite some time, talking about Jay-Z is manipulative and he steals, and he's been pushing a narrative, and that Roc Nation has control and power over a lot of things. And I can kind of understand where she's coming from to a certain extent. We got to remember when Jay-Z went up on the Grammy stage and said Beyonce never won Album of the Year and complained about that. Literally the following year, Beyonce wins Album of the Year, which is just something like that doesn't show you that there is some power going on there, that there is something behind the scenes that Jay-Z controls. It's clear as day that it's all politics on who wins Grammys, you know, who gets the better light and things. So that kind of opened my eyes, you know, as to Roc Nation's power and how they manipulate things in the media. I'll never forget Jay-Z would get this like special treatment all the time when it comes to the media. I mean, Hot 97, when they interviewed Jay-Z, they literally rolled out a red carpet. They never did that for any other artist. So Jay-Z's always had this kind of special treatment when it came to things. But now the question is Jay-Z involved in crazier things? I mean, there's been a lot of speculation in a lot of different ways, and people are pointing their attention towards 50 Cent wanting him to do a Jay-Z documentary. And it looks like he might actually do it, because on Instagram, he posted a drawing of Jay-Z that kind of makes fun of his looks. And he posted that photo and he said this in the caption: "Please stop sending me stuff like this. I'm not going to post it." Basically making a joke, you know, because obviously he posted it on his social media. But, and here's the interesting but in this, is someone commented on the post, and the comment got liked by 50 Cent. And this is the comment. It's from Dom KMDA. I hope I pronounced that right. Dom Kanmada. He commented saying, "My only question, he's next, isn't he?" And 50 ended up liking that comment. And here's the thing. I actually saw this on Twitter and X, you know, whatever, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to confirm, is this real? Because a lot of people Photoshop these type of things just to create drama and create this speculation. So I actually DM'd the guy himself, and I showed him the photo, and I asked him, "Hey, is this a real photo? Did 50 like your comment?" He said, "Hey, yes, he did." And I was like, perfect. Thank you for confirming. Thought it was Photoshopped. I will appreciate the response. And he said, "I was surprised as well. Didn't see that coming." So shout out to him, for, you know, responding to my DM and confirming that, you know, the comment actually got liked by 50, because, you know, a lot of people Photoshop and spread narratives. So me being the proper journalist, whatever you want to call me, news reporter, I, you know, wanted to go get to the source and see if it was actually real. There is also something that's very interesting that went over a lot of people's heads, and that's the documentary coming out on December 2nd. That Diddy documentary coming out on that date. Literally 2 days later, you have Jay-Z's birthday, December 4th, which to me sends a subliminal message to Jay-Z that you're next. So that's crazy. That just, to me, you know, shows that 50 is potentially gonna work on something going at Jay-Z, and he might get Nicki Minaj involved, because Nicki Minaj has a huge issue with Jay-Z with a lot of things, and I don't even know the full details of that, because she's gone at
He was running with that whole crew. And now people are asking the same question. How is this going to play out? How is the public supposed to process this? Are they really going to allow him to walk back in as though nothing ever happened? Public has already made its decision. They're canceling him. But has the industry canceled him? That's the real question. Because every single person who attended those Diddy parties, not one of them has stepped forward to clearly condemn what he allegedly did. Not one. I haven't heard a single strong, unambiguous denunciation. Instead, it's always, let God handle it. Let God handle it? Come on. If it were your daughter, would you just say, let God handle it? None of them are coming forward. And they can't openly defend him either, because that would destroy their brand. It would shatter their image. So they stay quiet. And then you hear lines like, Jay-Z is the only one who can call me Sean. I'm the only one who can call him Sean. What does that even mean? That's not loyalty, that's reputation management. The end of the day, not one person, not one major figure, has stood up and clearly condemned what he is accused of. Not
Epstein, he was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support him. Because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z. We the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or
the story doesn't end there. Over the years, criticism has resurfaced regarding how Oprah Winfrey has engaged with certain black celebrities. Ludacris once claimed that his interview responses were edited and that he was lectured about rap music while simply promoting a film he had appeared in. Dave Chappelle later suggested that during his interview, Oprah framed his struggles as paranoia rather than acknowledging the enormous pressure he described being under at the time. And Monique has publicly accused Oprah of playing a role in her being blacklisted following Precious, while Taraji P. Henson has spoken openly about being significantly underpaid for her work in The Color Purple. 50 Cent has vocally backed several of these grievances, arguing that he recognizes a recurring pattern in how accountability is, and isn't, applied across the industry. Then came the controversies surrounding the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. Incidents reported in 2007 and 2011 attracted heavy media attention. In more recent years, online conspiracy theories attempted to link Oprah to missing children and undisclosed locations, claims that were widely debunked. Yet the lingering online speculation has continued to cast a shadow in certain corners of the internet. Now, with 50 Cent having already taken aim at one powerful mogul through a widely watched documentary, some fans believe Oprah could face renewed scrutiny, particularly after 50 hinted that future revelations may involve figures the public would never expect. In Hollywood, connections have a way of overlapping. And in this unfolding narrative, the paths of Oprah, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Diddy have crossed repeatedly. Oprah has interviewed Beyoncé multiple times, expressing deep admiration for her career and influence. She has praised the Carters' business accomplishments and cultural legacy. Jay-Z has appeared at events connected to Oprah, and she has publicly championed some of his work. Beyoncé has also taken part in high-profile charitable events linked to Oprah's network. Taken individually, these moments may appear routine in a deeply interconnected industry. But to some observers, the repeated overlap has sparked fresh curiosity.
All right.
Beyonce didn't want to speak and does not speak to Brandy. And the truth of the matter is, there she go back there with Monica and Kelly, and there go Patti LaBelle, and then there goes Solange, all right? And there's a reason why Solange is around as well. Because if you guys don't know, for a while, Solange and Beyonce actually were not on speaking terms, but they're back talking now, they're back cool, and basically Solange is around to keep Beyonce spiritually protected. Solange is the spiritual protector of that family. Don't get it twisted. Mama Tina is powerful. Solange is the most powerful list. You better ask some damn body. All right. Now, the reason why Beyonce ain't came to speak to Brandy, baby, is because Beyonce does not talk to anyone who used to sleep with Jay-Z. Okay. Whether you guys know it or not, and I have to say allegedly, right? Jay-Z and Brandy used to talk back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like late 90s type stuff, right? Brandy always kept Jay-Z on the low back in the day because, quite honestly, he was too ugly to be out in public with. I'm just keeping it real. To claim him publicly, he was too ugly back in the day. Now, when you try to search up pictures of Jay-Z and Brandy, you will find... Hold up, let me see. Hold up. Let me see, because I thought I had a picture of them two. Brandy and Jay-Z. Now this would have been from, let's see, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Brandy and Jay-Z. Okay, there we go. Now this picture of them was in 2002. All right. And this was, I think was at one of her album release parties, if I'm not mistaken. This was a year after Moesha rapped, because Moesha went off air in 2001. Yes, he was dealing with Beyonce at the time as well. And, Blue Cantrell, he was, let me tell you, Jay-Z was laying it low and spreading it wide. Jay-Z was one of those dudes in the industry that, you know, you messed around with, he piped you down, but before he was really him, you did not claim him publicly because he was just simply too ugly. It was what it was. But Jay-Z was in love with Brandy then. He's not in love with her now, but he still has love and feelings towards her. He's one of those people that feels like once he done had you and once he done loved you, he always feels like he has like possession over you. Jay-Z is one of those kind of men, baby. I don't know if they told you. Jay-Z is extremely jealous, extremely controlling, and extremely possessive. That's another reason why. Hold up. Where'd the picture go? Wait a minute. Where'd the picture go? That's another reason why Beyonce up here. Wait. Anyway, y'all get the point. That's another reason why Beyonce, over the years, a lot of the music that she's made, it's always been with him. A lot of the remixes, it's always been with him or somebody that he approves of her to work with. Okay. Jay-Z was so damn controlling. He didn't even want her father, talking about Matthew Knowles now, he didn't want her father managing her anymore. And he stepped in. And if y'all notice, when Jay-Z stepped in as Beyonce's manager, the music changed, everything changed, and the money started to get effed up. But that's another story for another day. We're not getting on that right now. We're sticking with Brandy and Jay-Z right now. So they started messing around on the low in the 90s. Even to the early 2000s, they were still messing around. I'm not exactly sure which year the relationship officially ended, but just know that Jay-Z was just basically good for, that was what he gave. He gave big, I don't know no other way to put it, but he was like, for the ladies that's watching, you know, like if you ever dealt with like a tall, ugly with big pipe, you went to him to get piped down, but you would not like ever like claim him like that because he was just super ugly. It was what it was. And before he really blew up, didn't nobody want to be seen with him like that. It is what it is. And quite frankly, Jay-Z dated a lot of your favorite female stars.
He signed his contract. The big one was with Beyonce. Mm-hmm. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one. Exactly. He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He has like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. At the same time. He got some shit. He's like drinking. His pictures with him. He thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades.
Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music. Jay got it for the music.
You didn't see.
He deserved those.
I'm sitting there, he was like this, like Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah.